Welcome in, guys. We're going to be doing us a Dominaria draft today. First draft in a while. It's been a little bit. Got busy. Alright, so opening pack, we actually have some really nice cards here. Sarah Angel's a bomb, no matter how you look at it. I don't love white in this set. I do really like Urgoros. Urgoros is potentially a better bomb than Sarah Angel is in a lot of ways, but Sarah Angel does come down faster. So there's that as some major upside. We have Sylvan Awakening, which if you get Sylvan Awakening and you get like the actual right support cards for it, that turns into a really sick draft, but I don't think that it's better than Urkros or Sarah Angel as a first pick. Skittering Surveyors, Mana Fixing. Outside of that, I think we're taking either the black flyer or the white flyer at the end of the day. I kind of want to take Sarah Angel because I don't have a full playset in my collection, whereas with Urgoros I do. I don't know if it's necessarily the better pick here, but we can steer towards like a blue-white Flyers or something like that, or we can keep our options open. There is plenty of good white in the pack right now. We've got Gideon's Reproach, which is a good removal spell. We've got Pegasus Courser, which is a very good aggressive creature. If we end up on some sort of blue-white Flyers, or even like Esper Flyers or something like that, having Pegasus Courser is never going to be terrible. Neither is having Gideon's Reproach, really. I'm going to take the removal spell. The other card's good, but it's not like a bomb. Marwyn the Nurturer. Oh, man. I love this card so much. I just wish it didn't kind of suck compared to some of the other elves that you get in other formats. Like, it's one of the worst elf lords, but it's still pretty strong. It's good if elves is a good deck in standard, but it's not right now. So we get Dauntless Bodyguard, we get Charge, we get Trapper, we get Cold Water Snapper, which is, I would say, maybe the pick here. Fiery Interventions, good removal for this set, but it's not great removal. I kind of want to take Snapper as the best card in the pack. I also kind of want to take Morrowind just because I love that card, but I'm going to take Cold Water Snapper. This is Sphinx, hands down. Gideon's Reproach is probably the next best pick. Academy Drake, Blink of an Eye, Merfolk Trickster. I think it's Drake or it's Blink, and I'm gonna go Drake. Blink's probably a good pickup in this deck, but it's not 100% necessary. Relic Runner can't be blocked if you cast a Historic spell this turn. We haven't found any Historic spells yet, but that doesn't mean that we won't. That's a good beater if we can turn it on properly. I think we're going to take Relic Runner, and we're hoping that our colors aren't drying up. They're not. It seemed like they might be for a second, but they're not. They're fine. Blood Tallow Candle. It's removal. It enables Relic Runner, but it's not a great card necessarily. What are our other options? We've got a Sage of Latnam, sacrifice an artifact, draw a card. We're probably never playing that. We've got the 3/3 flash, Sentinel of the Pearl Trident, return target historic permanent you control to your hand. Or exile it and then return it to the battlefield, that's what it is. Sarah Disciple, which is another flyer with the flavor bonus for if you're on historic. Excavation Elephant, kick it, return target artifact from your graveyard to your hand. So we've got this whole historic, like, cycle with basically all of our creatures here. And then we've got a historic card. And we do have like one card that benefits off historic right now. We've got Relic Runner. So do we want to pick up more historic synergies, or would we rather pick up more stuff that is like Sarah Disciple that gets bigger for us playing historic stuff? And I think if we're gonna do one or the other, we have to consider either taking Sarah Disciple or Excavation Elephant here. I think Sarah Disciple's the play. Blood Tallow Candles also. I don't know. This might be the best common artifact in the set, though. Sarah Disciple's just really good. It's got first strike and flying. Like, you find a couple of pieces of equipment to throw on this deck, and we start getting really scary. Tragic Poet, return target enchantment. I'd rather have Adamant Will here, I think. Take the trick. Second Sarah Disciple. Alright, so we are definitely in a deck where we're looking for some equipment at some point. Charge is probably going to be pretty good. That might make the deck. Honor Guard probably won't make the deck, but we'll leave it in for now. I don't know if we'll run 2 charges, though. We'll find out. 2 charges might be the right number. It may also be way too many. Alright. So, our blue and white in this pack are not that great. We can't really do anything with Sorcerer's Wand, despite the fact that we're like, yeah, let's pick up some equipment. That's not the type of equipment we're looking for. Untap target artifact is not going to do a whole lot for us. Voltaic Servant may actually end up being the pick. Adamant Will I like a lot better in a lot of ways. As a matter of fact, I think I like Adamant Will better than Charge and what we have going on right now, because we're much more mid-rangey than aggro, despite the fact that we've got 3/2 drops and a removal spell right now, 4/2 drops and a removal spell, 5. Learning the count's hard, guys. So it's Adamant Will or it's Tolarian Scholar. I think Adamant Will is the better card. I'm going to take it. Tolarian Scholar, the argument for that is if we need more creatures. So that's a Teshar. Yeah. We're picking that up. And we're definitely wanting to find some artifacts at this point. Now that we've picked up Teshar, we've got 2 Sarah Disciples, we've got a Relic Runner. We've got our Daring Archaeologist that we're taking over the Blood Tallow Candle here, despite the fact that we're like, hey, we need to take artifacts. Oh, man. Alright. Shield of the Realm. That's not terrible, is it? Yeah, that's not terrible. We can take Shield of the Realm. That saves us from some stuff. Adeliz is going all the way around. We'll take the Blood Tallow Candle. Do I care about Amaranthine Wall? Not really. Do I care more about a Blood Tallow or a Partick Wanderer? Actually, a pretty good question. I think I'm okay with taking the Blood Tallow Candle over the Partick Wanderer. For reasons. I don't know how often Guardians of Koilos ever actually does anything good for me. As a matter of fact, I think the answer is basically not very often. We'll take a Knight of Nubinalia. I think a 3/1 is just a good enough card at getting in some damage. So we do get a Partick Wanderer. That's fine. The reason I was taking Candle over it is I'm just valuing removal higher than the 5/5 body right now. Because we've got so many like evasive creatures and stuff. Power Stone Chart's cool. I don't think we're gonna play it, but it's cool to put one of those into my sideboard, put it into my collection. Cabal Paladin. If we were for whatever reason to move into black, that would be the best card in this pack for us. Final Parting. Probably not a final parting deck. Is there any of the stuff that I don't have? We'll take a rat colony. Who knows? Someday you might need a million rat colonies. Tragic Poet. Could somehow make the deck if some weird stuff happened. One of Invoke the Divines probably fine to run main deck. That's a decent late pickup. Mesa Unicorn versus a Skittering Surveyor, Voltaic Servant, Deep Freeze, and Syncopate. Zahid and Invoke. So Zahid is a snap pick. It was like the last card that I read because I was sort of reading from the bottom up and reading the rare last to see what it was. See if there was anything else that was super busted before we got there. Sort of stacker decision making till the end. So here we've got Gideon's Reproach, Adamant Will, Call the Cavalry, which is great if you're doing some ground attacking, but we're not doing that much ground attacking. Most of our stuff has evasion. We've got Zahid, we've got Coldwater Sphinx, we've got Sarah, we've got Teshar, Drake, Relic Runner, and then we've got some smaller stuff on the ground and a single Coldwater Snapper. We could pick up a Arcane Flight in this last pack, maybe, to potentially stack onto our Coldwater Snapper or something like that. Alright, so we've got a second Sarah Angel. We've got Baird. We've got Naban, which would be a cool pick up for our collection, but we're not going to take it over all of these wonderful playables. Not taking it over Sarah or Baird, I don't think. Which one of those is almost inevitably going to be the pick here? What does our curve look like? Would we rather have the 4-drop? We'd probably rather have the 4-drop, right? We still really only have Shield of the Realm as our only equipment. We've got 4 artifacts and a legendary. That's the other reason to take Baird, is because he's legendary. Aether Glider. That's cool. We actually need 3 drops. I'll take that. It's a flyer. It's an artifact. Would we ever splash for Tiana? Not really. We don't have that many Orther equipments. So I don't think that we care about splashing for it, especially since we don't really have any way to take advantage of her. Yeah. Or any way to fix for her at that. I think I'm just going to take a Voltaic Servant here. Try to increase that count. Oh, there's a Nav Compass now that we wrote her off. Curator's Word, giving something hexproof is interesting. If we can stick that on a Sarah Angel or something like Cloud Reader Sphinx or Zahid, it could be really big. But I also don't think this card's very good. Putting it on Zahid, Teshar, or Baird does give us extra card draw potentially if they die. But otherwise, like, I think the majority of the time, we're probably averaging sticking it on, like, a 4-drop. Like a Daring Archaeologist 3/3 with Hexproof ends up just not being that good. In order for it to really be good, it has to hit one of our big flyers, I think. So I don't think it's worth taking. I don't think I ever run a 3rd Adamant Will. I don't know if we ever care about Navigator's Compass either, though. Maybe it's Opt here. I think Opt is the best option out of the pack for us. Opt is the best option. Diligent Excavator. Artifact Mill. Kipo. Probably not that great in this set. alone. If we had some sort of Dominaria plus M19 draft, Artifact Mill would actually probably be an archetype that you could play if you found that in, like, the first half of your picks, and then you took some millstones later. It would be really funny. Dub. +2/+2 in first strike. I'm in. I'm in for a dub. As a one of. Maybe for whatever reason we decide that we want a second Invoke or a third Adamant Will or a Tolarian Scholar. Tolarian Scholar is probably the most likely of those. But we are down into the bottom of the barrel as far as our picks are concerned, and we're just taking whatever gets passed our way because we've got our deck pretty much figured out at this point. We just got to make some cuts. We've got to make 5 cuts. It's a few cuts. Alright. I'm just gonna cut anything that I don't think is a great card in what we're trying to do. And then we'll look at what we have. Alright, so we're at 38. And that's fine because I did, like, kind of purposefully overcut. I think I could deal to bring back a dub. I think dub's pretty good because of the number of 2-drops that we have. And for that same reason, we might bring back either Tolarian Scholar or a Mr. Krabs. Or even something way off on the top end. I think this is a fine 17 lander. I don't think that we want to go up to 18. I don't really think that we want to go down to 16, but I could be wrong about that. We do have quite a lot of ways to close it out pretty early. But we also have, we've got, like, Academy Drake has kicker. And, like, we can play sort of a long game with stuff like Teshar, buying back our cheap stuff. Maybe we do want to pull these charges back in, actually. Like, at least one of these. Possibly both. I'm going to pull on both charges. Because what I'm thinking is, if we get into a late game with Teshar on the board, charge is going to be, like, really, really good. And also, even just out of our early game, we've got a lot of 2-drops. Mid-game, we've got Fliers. I think charge is going to be fine. So let's give it a round. Give it a whirl. Give it a go. Trying to reach 100. Yeah, I'll throw you a follow. LZ Phantom Blade. I'll check you out sometime. Alright, so we've got a interesting hand here. We've got some removal. We've got Shield of the Realm to get down. We do not have anything to get down as far as creatures early, but that's kind of fine. This is a slower format than a lot of the other draft formats. We'll just show one color for now. We'll drop Shield. Alright. LZ Phantom Blade. Let's see. Let's get down a Relic Runner here. Opponent's on maybe 3-color green with 2 splashes. With Nav Compass already on the board, we can kind of make that kind of assumption. It's not necessarily 100% going to come up to be true. Here comes the nav compass. Yeah. So yeah, he's on green, blue, and white. That would be 3 colors. We'll go ahead and equip our shield to the realm here. And we'll go to combat and we'll attack and we'll see if he understands how shield to the realm works, because sometimes people don't. Damage. And we can either leave up Gideon's Reproach to kill his Honor Guard, which I don't think I really care about, or we can play out Blood Tallow. So I'm going to play Blood Tallow. We're okay with taking a couple of damage from Honor Guard here. It ends up not being that big of a deal. Shall I Voice of Plenty? Okay. That's something that we'd much rather hit with our Reproach anyways. We're going to take a little bit of extra damage from Honor Guard because of that, but that's fine. So yeah, Reproach does 4 damage to target attacking or blocking creature. We can either kill Teshar with that, or we can kill it with Adamant Well. Either way ends up being pretty good here. There is some option, or some chance that he just doesn't block, and we don't get to use the Adamant Well. But either way, we should get to Reproach, hopefully. Invoke's also instant speed, so if he doesn't attack with Shalai, we can always just, like, invoke on his compass or something like that. Dub. Huh. So we're gonna have to invoke the Dub, I think. He's probably gonna attack with both here. Yep. So yeah, we'll go ahead and just invoke Dub. We don't really have a choice on that. And we don't have the mana up to Gideon's Reproach on top of that, so we're gonna take some hits. Taking some beats. We can't afford to play Baird right now. I can leave back Relic Runner. And we could, like, Gideon's Reproach, Shalai, and then Adamant Well against Honor Guard, and it'll die. And we won't lose Relic Runner. And then we can play Baird next turn. Or get energy and play Sarah Angel. Would also be very nice. Guy's Protector must be blocked if able. Okay. Alright, let's see where all this goes. Combat. Attacks. Yep. Alright, Gideon's Reproach. Take out Shalai. Shalai down. Awesome. That makes life a lot easier. So does this island, honestly. So we're gonna play Baird. And we're gonna equip Shield onto Baird instead of onto Relic Runner. Technically, I should probably attack first. This is like a slight misplay. He could Nav Compass shock my Relic Runner during the attack, but I'm assuming that he's not doing that. We haven't seen any reason to think that he is on red. We're assuming that he is 3-color right now. He's green, white, and blue. So there's another Dub. And Sapherd. That actually would really suck for us, except for the fact that he can't pay for Baird, because he used all of his mana. Whoopsies. Which is gonna make his next turn actually, like, kind of hard. Because we're gonna get to Adamant Will, we're gonna get to kill his Guy's Protector for free. No attackers here. If he goes on the big beat down, he gets through 5 damage, but he gives up his biggest creature for it. My assumption is he's only going to attack with that too, which is the case. So we'll go to blocks. Block with Baird. One blocker. He says, okay, looks good. We say Adamant Will. +2/+2 on Indestructible. And you lose your dude. And this is starting to look pretty okay for us. We've got this Baird who can just kind of keep doing his thing now. He has the option to beat in however much he wants, because even if he blocks with everything, he just loses a creature. Shield of the Realm should keep us up. All these only have 2 attack. There's some shit. I mean, he could have like a Gift of Growth or something, I guess. But it looks like he may just not understand how Shield's gonna handle this. Okay, cool. So, damage. Zero Angel. Opponent scratches his head, trying to figure out why Baird's not dead. Shield of the Realm. This card, I didn't understand that this card was good for the longest time that I was drafting. I also haven't drafted blue-white a whole lot. This is maybe my 2nd time drafting blue-white in this set. But this is interesting. It's not going badly. I'm not hating it. Oh, Multani coming down. Okay, that's a challenge for us to deal with. We've got to somehow kill him before Multani kills us. We're at 7 lands. We can Blood Tallow Candle. So I think what we're going to do here is we're going to say attack and attack. And if he blocks with Multani, we're going to Blood Tallow Candle, and we're going to trade Baird for Multani. And I think we're okay with that. Oh, you have Reach, don't you? I guess I'm just going to have to Adamant Will instead. This ends up being alright, too. And he can buy Multani back, but it's going to take him several turns to replay it. Honor Guard ends up being really interesting in the type of deck that we're playing, and he's kind of on a similar strategy as far as the reasons that he's on white and on blue, I guess, is that he's got stuff like Multani, and he's got ways to ramp into it, so he's got stuff that has payoffs for having historics and legendaries on the battlefield. So his Nav Compasses and Multani's end up being pretty busted, and his Lyra Dawnbringer. Oh lord, he has Lyra Dawnbringer. Okay. Well, our clock just got a lot shorter, except for the fact we still have this Blood Tallow Candle, so it's actually not that bad. So it's not that much shorter. It's a little shorter. We've still got to kill him pretty fast. And the fact that we're only able to swing with Baird and Sarah Angel is kind of painful. If we could start beating in with a little bit more, it'd be nice, but we're gonna have to accept that. Is that a second Multani, or did he buy the other one back? He did buy it back. Okay. We need to draw the other Blood Tallow Candle, or we need to end this game before then. So Disciple's not terrible. We can't play it out right now, though. are absolutely gonna attempt to get in with both of these again. Gonna look to get some Blood Tallow action. I really do wish that I had a way to deal with his follow-up, though. Oh, we do get to play the Seer Disciple. I don't know why I thought that we didn't have enough mana for that. Yeah, it's 6 to activate, not 7. So here comes Lyra. Lyra might just be enough to win him the game on its own. We don't really have a great way to deal with it. Not immediately. We need the top deck way to deal with it. We have a second Blood Tallow. Maybe Excavation Elephant comes back in specifically to bring back Blood Tallow Candle. Never mind. That works too. Take action. Yes, please. Play down Blood Tallow. Yep. Oh, he gets counters on him. This guy's really good. Daring Archaeologist, huh? We'll get in with our unblockable guy. Since we did get to play our Blood Tallow this turn. The other thing that we can do is we can move our shield over to Serra Angel, and Serra Angel can block Lyra Dawnbringer and not die. So we'll do that. Shield of the Realm moves to Serra Angel here. This also means that he's only going to go up to 8, I think, instead of going up to however many he would be at. More than 8. We can double block Lyra. Double blocking Lyra. We lose our Serra Disciple. That ends up being pretty good for us. Yeah, I think he figured out that that was not going to end that well for him. Alright, well, we get a win. A little increase in our limited rank, Silver 2. Maybe we go 7-0 and we hit Silver 1 by the end of this. We probably won't hit Gold, even if we perfect the run. But we're off to a good start. Alright, so first time in Blue-White. Did we end up bringing in... No, Excavation Elephant's still out here. Do we want to bring in Excavation Elephant over something else? Over one of our other bombs? Is basically what it ends up being. We've got 2 Blood Tallow Candles. Let's bring in an Overcharge. We don't need 2 charges. I don't even know if the 1 charge that we have is really good enough. It might come out at some point for like an opt. It might just turn out that our deck's high enough power level, despite all of the 2 drops, that we don't need charges. LZ Phantom Blade, man, I don't mean to call you out, but you asked for follow, and I haven't seen a follow yet, my dude. I'm midstream right now, so you're gonna have to follow first, my boy, if you're expecting the follow in return. Hello, indeed. Plans go. I probably should have led on Island. We pretty much, if our opponent knows the set really well, and this set's been around long enough that they know that we're sitting on charge in hand. Like, they can identify one of our cards based on the fact that we have something instant speed and white at 1 mana. So that's a like technical misplay from us. It shouldn't matter. It probably won't matter, but it could. Now, do I want to Gideon's Reproach his 3-1? Like, it feels really bad. But I think we might have to. So I'm going to leave it up. We're playing Aether Glider next turn either way. So I think that we're just gonna... I think we're gonna hold Reproach though, right? Like, is there any reason to actually play it right now? I'm gonna let it slip through. Howling Golem 2/3. Whenever it attacks or blocks, each player draws a card. That's kind of cool. I have not seen that card in any of my like 8 or 9 Dominaria drafts. That would be a first sighting for me. I don't think I knew that card existed. Demolish Honor Guard. He's getting in. Alright, we draw a Baird. Baird's a really good pickup against this board state, actually. And that's probably why I haven't seen that card, because it helps your opponent. At the end of the day, it's giving me free stuff. And he can't attack into this with anything other than just Howling Golem. Not safely. Not without a combat trick up anyways. He could have some sort of combat trick, I suppose, but... He attacks with Howling Golem. Pays for it. We decide whether we want to take 2 or whether we want to block. Since he's not attacking with everything else, we're going to assume that he doesn't have any combat tricks. So we're going to block. We will get rewarded for our decision. And now we need to make decisions. Do we drop Sphinx or Angel? Do we drop Shield of the Realm? I think Sphinx or Angel is going to be the way to go. Angel's faster clock. We're drawing cards off of him anyways. So we'll play Angel out. We'll get in with Glider. We're not going to attack with Baird and have it potentially die here. This charge is looking alright with this kind of hand, because we are able to hold it up and threaten a kill pretty soon off that +1 damage. We're looking at swinging in for 11 next turn if we used it next turn. Fiery Intervention is going to come down and kill an Angel. He's going to attack with Howling Golem again. Keep giving us both fuel. Invoke the Divine. We could potentially kill off his Howling Golem if we wanted to with Invoke. Which we might do. Yeah, I think we're going to go ahead and invoke that. I don't think that you run Howling Golem in your deck unless you've got some serious bombs that you're working towards in the late game. So killing that off is potentially really good for us. We're going to play out Shield of the Realm, and we will equip it onto Baird so that we can start getting in with him. Baird, Steward of Argus plus Shield of the Realm. Surprisingly powerful. Having a hate bear on the board feels good, man. Alright. That's interesting for us. We're at 7 mana. Academy Drake is 7 to kick, which makes it a 4/4. This Particle Golem is going to cause some slight problems for us. We are very close to charging in for the kill. I think we're just going to kick this. Versus, like, looking at Gideon's Reproach plus Cloud Reader Sphinx, I guess, is our other option. We don't really want to stick anything in front of that Partick Wander if we don't have to. We have the higher life total. I'm just going to throw down the Academy Drake. Kick it. Get in with Glider. And see what our opponent's got going on. Dauntless Bodyguard. Sack to give something indestructible, probably on the Partick Wanderer. And call the Cavalry. So he is building a nice wide board for himself. This is something that could turn into a problem for us. We actually can still block with Baird here. I don't know if he realizes, but Baird only takes 3 damage from Partick Wanderer. The rest of the damage doesn't happen. It gets blocked by shield. He somehow snuck through a point of damage. I'm actually not sure how that happened. I'm not terribly upset about it, but I'm a little bit curious. So we will tap our shield here in order to get down Zahid, the Djinn of the Lamp. And we're going to get him for 6 in the air. So this charge is kind of proving itself to be a little bit of a questionable take. We'll swing with everything here. We don't have any reason not to use the charge. If for whatever reason he doesn't block, we can kill him, obviously. But he should chump here. Alright. If he's not going to chump, he's going to lose. Damage. Alright. 2-0. Out the gate with blue-white. Flyers and Historic Synergy. Edging up that rank a little bit. And we're already, I think, hitting the point where we have enough gems to where we could potentially do another run. Either later today, if this goes super fast, or on another day, whatever my next day off is going to be. I didn't have today off, but I did get up early enough that I could actually stream before work, which is not something that I've been doing recently because I have been wiped the F out. Alright. We've got 2 planes and basically nothing doing. But we do have Shield of the Realm to play on 2, Glider to play on 3 if we find energy, Academy Drake to play on 3 if we have energy. We would have to find a blue source to play Academy Drake, though. I'm gonna mulligan this, I think, and look for a better hand. That was maybe a questionable mulligan. We might have been able to keep that and get away with it. This hand is awful. This is just lands. But we have lots of stuff to do in the late game, and we've got lots of stuff top decks that's early game playables. I'm actually going to keep the all land hand, and we're just going to put land at the bottom and look for action here. As much of a terrible decision as that might end up turning out to be, there I am leading on planes with charge in hand again. What am I doing? Alright, well, this is how you flood out, boys. This is what flooding looks like. Daring Archaeologist is a playable for next turn. At least we're, like, on blue and representing something at instant speed. So our opponent could be afraid that we have something. He's not terribly afraid that we have something. He's not so afraid that he's not going to play out his threats, but... we could have been representing Essence Scatter or something. He doesn't know for sure that we're not. Well, we're going to drop Archaeologist and hope that we find our shield or a Blood Tallow Candle or something that's going to let us get some counters on it and spend our mana. And not just flood out with more lands, basically, at the end of the day, is what it's going to come down to. So opponent is on 3 colors again. He's on blue, red, and white. There are some 2/2s. Baird's a pretty nice top deck, actually. We're not particularly unhappy about that. We can actually get in here and potentially make use of our charge if he tries to double block. Which he will do. So we're going to charge here. And get some decent use out of our stuff that we got going on. If our starting hand was Daring Archaeologist and Baird with all these lands, we probably would have kept it anyways. So I'm not particularly unhappy right now. Opponent drops a Sarah Angel. Now, do we want to try to trade off Daring Archaeologist for Sarah Angel? I think the answer is if that happens, it's fine for us. So we're going to try to swing in here. We'll get in for 4. Opponent's going to start getting in the air for 6, which means that he's going to have to work off of only having 4 mana to play each turn. And we do have a slight lead as far as the race goes here. Especially with this Gideon's approach in hand. This is going to make it to where we get to kill the Sarah Angel right quick. Oh, we're going to get in for 6. He's not going to try to block us. Wrap Caption. So now we have to kill the Sarah Angel to be winning this race at all. Which is kind of the plan anyways. We're going to reproach that down. Tap, tap, tap. Approach. Sarah Angel. An Icy Manipulator would have been a really nice pickup in this deck. I think an Icy Manipulator would have made this a 7-0 deck. I think right now we're probably looking at like 5 wins. Dub's nice. Let's dub up our Baird. Give it first strike, make it a little bit more resilient. Swing in for 8. And if our opponent has 1 damage, we're dead. We die to Shock, we die to Strike, we die to anything with haste. We also, I think, die to a blocker if we don't have some way to deal with what he's got coming in at us next turn. Do you have a blocker? Come on, land, go. Blessed Light. Oof. Alright, well, that should do it. Yeah, there's the plains on the top. I mean, there's no reason not to attack. Good game. It's gonna block. We're gonna hit the concede button. We're gonna move on to game number 4. We're at 2-1. 2 wins, 1 loss. And let's go, before we do that, and let's pull that charge out of our deck. I don't think the charge is worthwhile for us. I don't think it's terrible. It's not a bad card necessarily. It just, we'd rather have either another Invoke the Divine even, or an Opt. Homerit Explorer wouldn't even be terrible. We want something that is gonna affect the board state more than charge. Adamant Will's not terrible for us either. Adamant Will actually, as a combat trick, checks a lot of boxes for me. It makes a big enough stat difference. It gives indestructible, which means that you can use it to play around removal. In a lot of ways, it reminds me of Blossoming Defense. That it gives indestructible instead of hexproof has both upside and downside. Because it does mean that you, like, if you get -X, you're gonna die anyways. Alright, this hand's pretty good. I'm perfectly happy keeping Sarah Disciple into Baird. And we get a Blood Tallow Candle on turn 1. I'm gonna hold the Blood Tallow Candle to pump, I think. Because we don't have a turn 3 play. Turn 2 is going to be Sarah Disciple. Turn 3 can be Blood Tallow Candle holding up Gideon's Reproach. Opponent is going to Saproling Migration early. We'll play down Sarah Disciple. Flying First Strike means that we can kill one of his tokens if he decides to try to get in. He could also have plenty of things in green-black that would be bad for us. Fungal Infection was at the top of my list of things that I was thinking of. And there it is. So that kind of screws up our Blood Tallow Candle Gideon's Reproach turn, but we do have the Academy Drake in hand that we can play down instead, which ends up being just fine. It still holds up some defense against these 1/1s on the ground by being a 2/2 body. As long as he doesn't lord up too hard. And Baird's going to slow down this guy's game plan. If he's on green-black Saprolings, looking to make a ton of Saprolings and play down a Lord. So yeah, we'll block here if we can. There's some chance that we get combat tricked. Oh my god, does he have a second Fungal Infection? This guy's just on busted Saproling deck. Oh yeah. Oh, that hurts. Alright. You can't play around double Fungal Infection every game. Maybe I should have there, because he did just, like, commit with everything right off the bat. We could have assumed that he had it, but I think trying to block there is playing more towards our outs. We've got the Baird coming down this turn. He's not going to be able to swing with everything and play all of his stuff. Omnivore. Alright, we get a dub. So we will definitely dub here. I think dub's another card that maybe we could take out for something else. That's maybe the next weakest card in our deck, just because it sucks so badly against removal. So we do have Gideon's Reproach here. How big can he pump this? It costs mana, right? It costs 1 mana, so he could pump it twice. And then we would kill it with Gideon's Reproach. That ends up being pretty good. Gideon's Reproach plus first strike damage would kill it. So you can get it up to a 7/7. It's not blocking, so we're just holding back the Gideon's Reproach damage. If he's playing around Gideon's Reproach specifically, we could get in trouble. If he swings with everything... Okay, so he's casting something first. This is fine for us. We kind of hope he swings with Omnivore here. Phyrexian Scriptures. Becomes an artifact in addition to its other types. Destroy all non-artifacts. Exile all cards from all opponents' graveyard. Whoa. Okay. Well, that's pretty spooky. Shield of the Realm and Blood Tallow Candle in hand. I mean, we might as well play some of this down. As long as we still hold up Gideon's Reproach. I'm gonna hold a land in hand. Swing in. So my thought is that there's a chance that he's gonna block here. He's gonna try to block here because he's losing all these 1/1s next turn anyways. Yeah, he's gonna block like that. That's fine. Maybe I will play down this Plains. We do have the Blood Tallow Candle, so if we top deck land, we could still potentially have something to do here. Yeah, he's going to lose his 1/1s. We're going to lose our Baird. Losing the Baird hurts more than losing his 1/1s does for us, but maybe he doesn't have a Slime Foot in his deck, and we end up getting really lucky. So Gideon's Reproach makes him sack Llanowar Scout. I'm not sure if it's worth it. I don't think it's not worth it. We'll go for it. Give it a check. See if opponent is on the plan of sacking his Salad Omnivore. Or sacking his Llanowar Scouts with Salad Omnivore, I mean. Yep, he'll do so. That means that he won't be able to play around Blood Tallow Candle on our turn, so we spent a lot to get rid of this. But at the end of the day, Zahid's going to be really nice. As a matter of fact, I think Zahid's probably going to win us the game. Because we're going to be able to play him down and put Shield of the Realm on him on the following turn. Or potentially play him down and Shield of the Realm if we top deck an island. Our graveyard goes away, that doesn't matter at all. We're not really caring about doing anything with our graveyard. Divest? That sucks. Okay. Well, Sarah Angel's still good. Sarah Angel's still really good. Is it as good as Zahid? No. Is playing it and equipping the Shield of the Realm as good as Zahid? It's close. Because we do have Vigilance, whereas Zahid did not. But otherwise, this card is going to read very similar to what Zahid would read on the board. It's just one less attack, but with Vigilance. Glider's nice. We'll go to attack first. Sarah Angel connects for 4. You drop down Ace Tier Glider and say you're on a 2-turn clock. Get a flyer in the air. Get some removal, or get dead. Fungal. Alright, so 3-turn clock instead of 2. Still fine. Opponent's on black. What stuff in black? Oh my god. Are you fucking kidding me? This guy's deck is busted. He's got Eldest Reborn. He's got Phyrexian Scriptures, which is a mythic. He's got a pretty busted archetype going. So what's he gonna buy back with Eldest Reborn at the end of the day? It's gonna be our Sarah Angel, right? It's gonna be Zahid. It's not gonna be Eldest. Or, it's not gonna be Angel. It's gonna be Zahid. We're gonna lose this game. Oh no, Big Nestle. Giving us that big chocolate bar, if you know what I mean. That guy had a really good draft. So yeah, here comes Zahid. Hitting the board. We take 4. I don't think we have any way to get out of Zahid just killing us next turn. Not to mention we're dead to any 2 things getting in. It's not just Zahid. Yep. Alright. Well, that's a game. Can we bring this back from the depths? The depths of despair. That's where we're at right now. We're down in the doldrums. So, if I were to make cuts right now, I'd cut these two, right? And I'd try to bring in maybe some more creatures. We're kind of light on creatures, just in general. We've got plenty of removal. We maybe overdid it with the extra adamant wool that we brought in on combat tricks. I think backing up on that is the right play. Do we have another 3-drop? We have a Talarian Scholar. So we do. My novice drafting ability coming into clear view, seeing me going and making changes before we play our potentially last game at 2-2. I won't make claims to be the best player though. I'll just make claims to have fun and enjoy drafting and deck building, like the true Timmy/Johnny player that I am. Alright, Baird and Teshar in the opening hand, as well as Sarah Disciple and an Adamant Will. This is keepable. This is very keepable. We'll lead on planes. Probably lead on double planes. No reason to show our second color yet. We can drop Sarah Disciple, and it probably gives some hints. It's, oh look, he's on white, he's playing Fliers, there's historic synergies. A pretty good chance that we are on something. Let's commit the attacker, say, hey, block us if you think we don't have it. And pass it along. Better option may have been to leave it back as a blocker and use the Adamant Will defensively. He probably would have swung in, even if we were just holding it back as a blocker. My turn. So we're going to be dropping Baird here. Sarah Disciple's going to get the +1/+1. Get him for a couple points of damage. Opponent is blue-black, which might be my favorite color combination in this draft set. There's a lot of really fun things you can do with blue-black. This might be a Eldest Reborn grab here. He tossed an island, though, so it's probably not an Eldest Reborn grab. That's usually my assumption when I see that card coming down, is the opponent's playing some pretty broken Eldest Reborn things. Ooh, Forebear's Blade is a very good card. We'll drop the island here. I think we're going to invoke that. I don't think we want to deal with it. Now we can Blood Tallow and swing in. Or we can hold up Adamant Will. Holding up Adamant Will is a little bit better here because it means that if he double blocks Baird, we get to Adamant Will him. Instead, that's going to happen, so we're going to Adamant Will Sarah Disciple. It just leaves the option open for us, and by leaving the option open for us kind of limits our opponent's options. Coldwater Snapper, okay. It's not terrible for our opponent. So, target creature card with CMC 3 or less. That does mean that our targets right now are basically just our Sarah Disciples. Let's drop Sarah Disciple, let's play Teshar, and let's start getting it in the air. Their disciples are going to grow. This is the kind of match where having a charge would actually be quite nice, because he has a Cold Water Snapper on the ground, so we're forced to get in with the air, and we've kind of got small flyers in the air. We don't have any of our Zaheeds, we don't have our Sarah Angel, we've just got our Sarah Disciples and our Teshar. Divination? It's playing a whole lot of card draw. I wonder if they have a Slinvada or something that they're trying to work towards. Aether Glider is quite nice. That's a really good top deck for us. Not something that you usually say about Aether Glider, but in this instance, it's quite good. Teshar is not going to get to do any extra work, but we do just get to jam in for all the damage. And I think we're going to close this game out just with Fliers. Going to put him down to 3. Next turn we have to slip through with 2 things that can't both be Sarah Disciple. There's the Eldest Reborn. So now, funny thing here, we should actually sacrifice our Baird because... Yep, okay. Opponent's going to go down. They understand that they've lost. Even if we sacrificed one of our Flyers on accident instead of the Baird, we were still going to be able to swing in for lethal damage, but the option to sacrifice Baird as opposed to a Flyer would still have been the right play in case there was any sort of follow-up, like a fungal infection or something, killing off our 2-1 after we sacrifice Teshar for whatever reason. We would have had to have drastically misplayed that to lose the game. Alright, so we're at 3-2 now. We are bringing it back a little bit, bringing the heat back. Hopefully we can hit 4 or 5, maybe even 6 wins. I'm not confident we're going to go to 7 by any stretch. This hand's alright. We've got Relic Runner, we've got Shield. We do not have blue mana, though. And maybe I should have mulliganed this because we don't have an island. It's pretty easy for us to get color screwed. We have a Gideon's Reproach that we can hold up. And we have the Shield of the Realm that we can slap down while we're waiting on blue mana. But we're going to lead on Plains. And see what our opponent's up to. Use Serene. He's on Stronghold Confessor turn 1. Okay. I don't really want to Gideon's Reproach that. We do get our island here, so Relic Runner can come down. Next turn we can go Shield of the Realm, equip on Relic Runner. And start slowly winning the race against our opponent. Opponent is also on a Shield of the Realm strategy of some sort. He's on red-black. I wonder if he's on Valduk. That is my initial assumption when I see red-black and then I see an equipment. Is that our opponent is planning on hitting us with a Valduk. Likely next turn. We do have Gideon's Reproach for Valduk as long as it doesn't have a Shield of the Realm on it and live. Which it does. So, this could be bad. Valduk's base attack is 2, right? So we could hold back Relic Runner to block it. And then go Gideon's Reproach. Jousting Lance. Yep, he's just slowly stacking up his equipment. This would be a card that we would have loved to have picked up. If we picked up 1 copy of Jousting Lance, even a Short Sword would have been fine, but it would have made a pretty big difference in what our deck would do. I'm certainly not angry about having the Shield of the Realm, but Having something a little bit better would have been nice too. So we're just gonna beat in here. So he can just block us out with Stronghold Confessor since it has the shield on it. We don't really want to blow our Gideon's Reproach on that. It just doesn't do anything. It kills his 1/1. I don't care about his 1/1. I wanna kill his big stuff. We kind of want to save Excavation Elephant if we can, but we might not have the choice. We might just have to play it as a 3/5 so that we can start making some progress. We do have Cold Water Snapper that we can wait for, though. I think just playing the slow game here is probably better than dropping Elephant. If he doesn't move the shield over, we can kill this with a Reproach. Yeah, we're definitely waiting. We're not attacking here. Now, is relying on your opponent to misplay a good plan? No. But we get Cold Water Snapper to follow up, and I don't think playing Elephant this turn does anything for us in this board state. So he can only equip at sorcery speed, as you can see. So we're going to Gideon's Reproach this 3/3 at instant speed, not during his main phase. We're going to take 1. He's going to go, oh no, I goofed. And I'm going to go, yep, that was a goof. I would agree. Usury dropping another Stronghold Confessor. More 3/3s. Flames, check. Cold Water Snapper, check. And pass the turn. No need to throw away our Relic Runner yet. Chances are he's going to equip this Jousting Lance, and he's going to get in for some damage this turn. We can double block the 1/1 and just start slowly working on him. We can also invoke this next turn. Having one of Invoke, I think, in any white deck is pretty ideal. It does a lot of good things. Dealing with artifacts and enchantments, almost every deck is going to run at least one artifact or enchantment in this set, I feel like. There are a few options of decks maybe where you don't, but like you're usually going to blow up either an equipment or you're going to blow up like an Eldest Reborn, which ends up being really nice. We're not going to stick anything in front of the 5/3 Menace first strike because it's a bad idea to do so. Shield of the Realm. Okay. Excuse me. Sorry about yawning in your ear there. We're going to do this, and we're going to make sure that we target Jousting Lance. Which makes him basically a 3/5. We'll drop Tolarian Scholar because it gives us a little bit more presence on the board. And now we decide whether or not we want to beat in or not. I think beating in with Relic Runner here is fine. I wish I had one more mana to move this shield over to the Tolarian Scholar post-combat. If we had that one more land untapped down there, that would have been a nice play. Because it would have meant that we could double trade on this Stronghold Confessor without losing anything. And he'd just be stuck unable to swing. But as of right now, he could swing and trade his 3/3 for our 2/3 if he wanted to. But if he wants to trade his 4-drop for our 3-drop, we're fine with that. Skittering Surveyor gets him a land, which is nice for him. He is bind on land right now. Champion of the Flame. So he does have a payoff for his equipments. But without that Jousting Lance, it's not very good. And he's going to decide to swing in with his Stronghold Confessor. By the look of it. He might change his mind. He hasn't committed yet, but he's looking at it. He decides to do it. We're A-okay with this. 2 blockers. This makes it safe for us to swing with the Relic Runner and the Cold Water Snapper next turn. Oh, we don't kill him. Why don't we kill him? Right. I knew that. Blood Tallow Candle. We've been waiting to play our Excavation Elephant because we have Blood Tallow Candle in the deck. Knock him to 10. He's going to get to come back in at us for quite a bit of damage before we kill off either his champion or his Stronghold Confessor. Or potentially something bigger than that. And then do it all over again. Assuming we find one more land in the next 2 draws. We should probably be holding some of this back to block at this point. Our opponent's board's very wide. So swinging in recklessly can get us pretty punished. He's looking at a 6-drop. What do you have for 6 mana on... Probably in black and not in red. It might be in red. He's moving his shield over. Okay. Knight of Malice. Yeah. Okay, you just tapped out like you're playing Commander. Seems good. So there is a Plains. And... yeah, I think we're going to kill Champion with Blood Tallow. That card just ends up being pretty scary. And we'll just hold back blockers. Should I move this over? It's a Cold Water Snapper. I don't think I should. I think I should leave it like this. He's going to be able to get in for 3 again. Or potentially he could swing in for more depending on what he has, but I think we're going to see him swing in for 3 here. Fungal Infection ends up being pretty nasty against us here. As does any sort of red removal, damage-based removal, killing Relic Runner. Fire Fist Adept fits perfectly into that boat of things that suck for us. Except for the fact that it doesn't actually do anything to Relic Runner. It pretty much has to be Fungal Infection, now that I think about it, because we do have the shield equipped still. That was why we left it there. Yay! Using your brain and then forgetting about it. Happens a lot to me. He's like, why didn't my Fire Fist it up to kill your thing? Because I have Shield of the Realm equipped still. Duh. You know what that card does. You're playing that card. You have 1 save attack, and you did not use it. Nice. So let's Elephant. Kicked for 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes. In order to bring back a Blood Tallow Candle. And pass the turn. We do buff up his Knight of Malice here, which is a little scary. Just by having that Excavation Elephant on the field. Plus he has Hexproof from white. If he finds a way to give this +2/+2, it gets really scary. But as of right now, it's not really a problem. We can, at this point, kill any of his things that he attacks in with because we have the 4-5 and the 3-5. I'm attacking with everything's pretty scary, though. Alright, so we want to block here. We want to block here. We want to block here. And let him get in for 6. Insufficient blockers declared for attacker. Is there something that I have to block here? Oh, no, it's because Stronghold Confessor. Right. Shite. Well, let's do this then. And his Fire Fist Adept's gonna stay alive. Is that okay? I could kill the Confessor instead of... No. Yeah, this is right. So we're gonna take 4. We're gonna kill his Knight of Malice. And his Skittering Surveyor. Plains is great. Do I need to kill one of his things now? I think these Stronghold Confessors are turning out to, like, be a huge freaking problem. I think Baird helps a lot. I think we're gonna play Baird. I think we're gonna play the Blood Tallow and not use it yet. And I think we have to pass, or we die. I didn't want to use up too much of my timeouts on that block. There was certainly some consideration as to whether or not I should have considered those blocks more, but I think we blocked optimally. There's another Blood Tallow Candle. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and kill one of his 3/3s. We'll hold on to the other one and not let him know that we have it, though. And then we're going to start attacking in, I guess. Not with everything, of course. We need to hold back 3 blockers in order to deal with this. Which means we want to swing with something that has 5 health. May as well be Cold Water Snapper, I guess. Now, I think maybe I should play out, right, he does get to just block like that. I should play out the Blood Tallow Candle. I was considering holding it because we have stuff that gets buffed up from us playing, historic spells, which includes artifacts, but by playing it out, we play around Mind Rot a little bit, and we need to kill his Fire Fist Adept in order to win the game here. As soon as we kill Fire Fist Adept, this goes a lot better for us. So yeah, like Serra Disciple, for example, it gets +1/+1 when we play our historic spells, but we're kind of at the end game. We don't have time to wait on that. Opponent is saying oops a lot. They seem to have realized that they have made a large mistake. We'll swing in with Snapper and Relic Runner. We don't want to die to him having a bolt, or to him having some sort of combat trick giving +3/+3, so we're going to hold back our blockers and have the ability to block up his Stronghold Confessor for this one turn. And then next turn we can swing in for lethal. We were 1 off lethal if we swung in with everything this turn. Oh, we're doing it, boys. We're bringing it back. We're going to be at 4-2, assuming that we don't lose the game here. Keldon Overseer is going to take our elephant, I guess. And this has haste, right? So we have to block Keldon with Serra Disciple and then block elephant with Baird. That's fine. Like, we just kill his Overseer. This just ends up not being good enough for him. Oh, I guess he gets to keep it alive, technically, right? Alright, so our blocks are easy, at least. Yep. Okay. Yep, still not good enough. Yep. There's the scoop. Kelton Overseer was a nice top deck. Like, don't get me wrong, that was probably one of his best cards in a top deck situation like that, but it just wasn't enough. We played around it well enough. And it wasn't necessarily something I was expecting to see either. Furious Reprisal deals 2 damage to each of 2 targets. Terrible card. And a pack. So when we finally do lose our last game, we'll have some packs to open up. That'll be nice. Going first, we've got Relic Runner, Glider, Sphinx Gen. Since we've got Glider into Gen, I want to keep this, because if we can go turn 2, turn 3, turn 4, turn 5, or even if these two are a little bit late, if we go turn 2, turn 3, turn 5, turn 7 even, this ends up being pretty dope. Pretty dope. I think I'd rather have Honor Guard down almost. No, let's play the Relic Runner. Relic Runner has higher payoff if we end up hitting the Aether Glider after he plays a blocker. We just need to hit the land for it. Opponent's on red. And blue. Blue-red. Flyers and Wizards. You're a wizard, Ari. Here comes Glider. If they have land on the top, we probably win this game. Because Zahid probably is just too much for our opponent to deal with if they're on blue-red Wizards. Which is a bit of an assumption to make, considering the fact that they have Artificer's Assistant down, which isn't exactly a premium card in blue-red Wizards. It is an aggressive flyer, though. So it does fit into the archetype, it's just not something that I pick very highly. I certainly don't take it over almost any wizard. Aether Glider. So maybe it's just blue-red Flyers. So we're going to go on the attack here, and we're going to look at potentially getting a Adamant Will out and making a good trade off of that. He has to block with Assistant. We absolutely want to keep our Glider alive, because our Glider is discounting our Zahid as soon as we find that 4th land. But clearing off his board, trading our spells for his spells is fine by us. We're trying to be the aggressor here. Which I don't think is a mistake, but if we don't find land soon, it could very quickly turn into something where we're in a bad position, and wishing that we still had that Adamant Will. Hopefully that doesn't end up being the case, though. We do still have a Benelish Honor Guard that we can potentially drop. Gelden Raider. And he's going to do some looting. What did he get rid of here? A Gitu Journey Mage? Hey, there's our land. And our Zahid. Tap down our Glider. Submit. Relic Runner gets to swing in because we played a legendary permanent. One historic Zahid, Djinn of the Lamp. We also have access to our Daring Archaeologist at this point, which we might want to hold. Because that card gets better the later the game goes for us. If we can play it after we've candled something, it ends up being real good. If we play it before we candle, it's also not bad because it does get +1/+1 off of the candle hitting the board. Opponent is now trying to figure out how he wins this game. Do you have removal for Zahid, Djinn of the Lamp? You need something good. You need haphazard bombardment. That's probably what the opponent needs to win the game, is like exactly haphazard bombardment. You could also like blink of an eye or something like that and it'll slow us down, but I don't think it'll cost us the game. It'll just slow us down. Academy Drake. 2/2 in the air. Maybe opponent's just looking to do some chump blocking. So let's play out Honor Guard. Well, let's hold up on that. Let's go to combat first. Let's swing in with everything. Except for Relic Runner. We've shown an Adamant Will. He might play around other combat tricks and not make some sort of combat trick block if he has it, which I don't think he does, but I don't know that for sure. Happily take that trade. Alright, so drop Honor Guard. Drop Sarah Disciple. We get an Archaeologist back, our Aether Glider actually. That ends up being pretty decent. It's not super great, but it's also not bad at all. Because it gives us more fuel. And we're burning a fire right now on this guy's face, so certainly won't be unhappy about it. Opponent might just scoop. Cold Water Snapper. Okay, they're not scooping yet. They're not done. We haven't even seen their final form. Do I just play Cloud Reader here? Let's do that. We'll bottom this. We'll top that. Shield of the Realm ends up being pretty good here, actually. Zahid gets in. Sarah Disciple gets in. Opponent's at least taking one. They're probably taking the full brunt. I don't know if they win if they don't chump block there. I don't know how they win if they don't chump block there. I guess you can always make the same chump block the next turn and it saves the same amount of damage, but okay, Varix. That's one way to get out of that particular pickle. So we're gonna equip our Zahid with shield, and we're gonna swing in with it. And our opponent's gonna try to double block or triple block, and then they're gonna very quickly realize that they done goofed. That's the plan. Whether or not that works, who knows? We don't die on the swing back though, so. I think it's worth a try on MTG Arena. If I was at a tournament for whatever reason, because I was a really good player, I probably wouldn't make this play. I probably also may not have put shield on the top. I might have kept land on the top, or put them both to the bottom and looked for just bombs. This is one of those cards that's really easy to misread, though. This is one of those things that you might read it and go, well, so I've got 8 damage, so he's going to take 6, and then double block. opponent doesn't do that, he just chumps. Which he has to. He has to chump. If he doesn't chump, he loses the game. So how does our opponent come back from this? They need... Not you. They need something. I don't know what they need. Yep, they didn't find it. Alright, 5 wins. This is 5-2. This was where I was expecting to be at when we finished the draft. Anything past this is icing on the cake. Anything before this would have probably been a disappointment. At least a little bit. Claim prize. 5 wins. Let's go. I'm gonna, do something real quick. I'm gonna get rid of the chat box there, because the only person that's said anything in stream today is somebody who asked for follow and then never followed, which is, in my opinion, like, extremely fucking rude. Like, you just don't fucking do that. That's like going into somebody else's stream and advertising without asking them first. Like, if somebody says, hey, it's cool to advertise here, awesome, do it. If you're watching right now and you stream, feel free to shout yourself out. But if you come into my stream and you, like, hey, do you want to follow, and then you don't follow, like, it's just soliciting. It is soliciting. You're soliciting my stream without asking me about it. And then you're not even following through on your half of what you're talking about doing. I might just go to a simpler stream layout in the future and get rid of all of the Streamlabs stuff. And go to just more basic OBS setup and start using, like, deck trackers and stuff. The only reason that I haven't is because I kind of carried over my setup from my previous stream, which I quite enjoyed. But the games that I used to play are basically dead. They're dead to me. So now, I think killing Sarah Disciple matters more than Tetsuko. As strange as that may be, because we are on a Fliers plan. We've got more Fliers coming down in the future. If he has some way to make this Sarah Disciple that he had stay bigger than our Teshar or our Sarah Disciple, we're never going to get a swing in. Tetsuko on the board just means that his low attack creatures can't be blocked. And I'm saying, fuck you, fight me, let's race. Alright. On Sarah's Wings. Okay, yep, that's one way to do it. It gives it vigilance too. Oh man. Alright. Well, we're not blocking. Not blocking. Oof. Glider, huh? We'll play out the glider. There's not really any good reason to hold on to it. But our bird cleric is looking very sad right now. Kind of unable to do anything at the current situation. We can start blocking if we want to. We can just block this Tetsuko. Triumph of Gerard, really? Really? This has lifelink. Man, that's a pain in the butt. Alright, one blocker. Yeah, that's not great. That's a big freaking Tetsuko, man. Alright, well, Zahid's nice. Zahid's really nice. Zahid hitting the board makes a huge difference. My thing is now bigger than his thing. And we get to pull back the Seer Disciple for free. Being able to get kind of infinite blocks off the Seer Disciple is pretty nice. We actually... No, his thing's still going to be bigger than mine because... Now it's a 4-6. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. When we play Elephant, we can buy back a candle with it. So we're going to wait for a candle. That's the plan at this point. We're not going to swing in with everything and lose our Teshar or something like that. That'd be pretty dumb. We'd just be giving him extra health. Oh, hey, look, it has Flying, First Strike, Vigilance, Lifelink, and Hexproof. She basically already had... Oh, you son of a bitch. Get out of here with your Bolus's clutches. Get out of here with that shit. Alright, we have to top deck and invoke the Divine. Invoke off the top. We're in a bad way right now, right now, right now, right now. Glider can't block. We're taking 9. And we have to take 9. We can't block with Teshar and still win the game. Candle doesn't do it. Yeah, it had to be exactly Invoke the Divine right now. We could... Do you have First Strike? You do not. We could double block the Tetsuko. And then if we draw Invoke, we still win. Or we still can win. We won't necessarily win, but we still could. That's, of course, under the assumption that he doesn't have anything to kill any of our stuff, and that he swings with both, which he may not. If he swings with Zahid, and we're forced to either block or double block, we probably lose here. We need to kill his Tetsuko. Just because it's got like 2 billion enchantments on it. But this is a real good spot for him to have a Blink of an Eye, or an Indomitable Will, or Sure Strike, Wrong Set, whatever red combat trick that gives plus X plus 0 in First Strike is. If he doesn't have it, and we kill his guy, then we top deck Invoke. We still have to top deck Invoke. That's not Invoke. I think we have to play down Elephant. I actually don't know why we're playing down Elephant. Man, I'm a little flustered. Why did I kick that? We don't even have anything else. Tiana Ship's Caretaker. Oof. Man, that Bolus's clutches, dude. It's so good. It's just so good. And now we've lost, right? Even if we top deck Invoke, which we didn't. We top deck Blood Tallow Candle. which does nothing for us. Alright. Scoop. Well, that's gonna be this, this video, I guess. So we went 5-2, playing blue-white Fliers with a emphasis on historic spells, bunch of blood tallow candles, stuff like that. Can we look at our deck before we close out? Is that something it'll allow us to do? Nope. That's kind of lame. I wish it would. But we went 5-2. We got 650 gems. We got another pack of Dominaria, so we've got a couple of packs to open up. One Dominaria, one Core 19 set. Let's see what we got. Song of Freyalise is nice. We're missing one of those still. Joda, Archmage Eternal, I have like 8 of on this, which means I have 4 of them, and the rest is going towards Vault Progress, so kind of okay with the Vault Progress. Wish it was a wild card, though. And rare wild card for free. Sarkhan's Unsealing. If you're playing some sort of red-green stompy deck, this card's really cool. And yeah, I think that's going to do it for